Today, boys, we are making our Premier League predictions. We have this tier list right here. We're going to go club by club and slot every one of them in. Before we begin, I want to say a big hello to my future self, who will probably be reacting to this in the future when I get all of these wrong. I do have this Premier League hat on, so trust me, I do know what I'm talking about. Also, if you guys want to see more real world football content like this, I'm bringing back the weekly dab of football. My second channel is making a comeback, so go subscribe. And let's get this video started with our very first team, Arsenal. They're all the way down here at the very bottom. Okay, so I gotta be honest, and I gotta preface, I am a Chelsea fan, but I do think this Arsenal team is going to be incredible this year. Let's talk about their new signings. Of course, they got the man from Sporting, Victor Gyökeres. If this dude is as good as he was on Sporting, I don't think there's any doubt that Arsenal will be top two. They potentially will win the league with this man if he performs. Gyökeres, Saka, and Odegaard are going to be a dangerous trio. Arsenal also picked up Madueke from Chelsea, and this was actually their most expensive signing, a CDM out of Real Sociedad. They paid 70 million for this man. Obviously, adding him, and then with the defenders Arsenal already have. I'm a Chelsea fan, but I'm going to say it. Arsenal is a scary team. Here's where I'm putting Arsenal. We're going to start them in this 2 to 5 slot. I'm not going to name my champion until the very end. So Arsenal honestly could move up into that champion spot. I'm not counting it out yet, but you'll have to wait. Okay, Aston Villa is our next club. I'm gonna have timestamps in this video as well, so if you guys want to skip around to your favorite clubs, you're gonna be able to do that. Let's move on to Villa though. Okay, this is the big one for Villa. This man, Ollie Watkins. Obviously, we're making these predictions in the month of August, so the transfer window is still open. It is rumored that he may be on his way out. Potentially in anticipation for that, Aston Villa have made this signing. They have signed a man from Nice. He is French, technically from the Ivory Coast. Evan Guessen. He's 24 years old. He scored 12 goals in League One last year. If Ollie Watkins does indeed go, it's definitely going to hurt this team. This guy could be good, but I don't think he's going to be nearly as good as Ollie Watkins. This Villa team does have so much talent, though. I'm looking at this man, the 23-year-old Morgan Rogers. He's going to need to step up this year. Of course, their midfield is stacked with players like Kamara. They got Yuri Tillmans. Their back line is very good as well. At the moment, Ollie Watkins is still on this team, so I'm going to be making this prediction as if he still is, and I'm actually putting them in the top 5. Our two first teams are going in alphabetical order. They're both in the top 5. And of course, this team still has the legend John McGinn, so anything is really possible. Okay, our next club we're moving on to is Bournemouth. Okay, now here's the thing for Bournemouth this year. They lost some massive players in the transfer window. Actually crazy. This man right here, they sold to Real Madrid. Going from Bournemouth to Real Madrid is just a crazy transfer. They did get a ton of money for him. They got around 60 million for this man. And they also sold their starting left back, Milos Kerkez, to Liverpool. They got about 100 million plus combined for the both of those two, but they haven't really put the money to use fully. They signed Petrovic, the goalkeeper from Chelsea, for around 29 million. They got this left back from the French league to try to replace Kerkez. Now, they do still have some solid players in this team, but after a 9th place finish last year, they're definitely not topping that. I actually have Bournemouth here in the lower mid-table region. Still a lot of time left on the transfer window for them to make moves. They do have the money to spend, and I do anticipate them making some more signings. Okay, Brentford is up next. Okay, now here's the thing with Brentford. They have a brand new manager this year. They did, however, lose this man to Manchester United, which is going to be a massive loss for them. They did get 75 mil for him, though, and here's who they spent it on. They brought in one of Liverpool's reserve keepers. They didn't pay a ton for him, around 14 million. They brought in some young players as well. They brought in this Dutch central attacking midfielder called Nilambo. I think he got around 9 total goal contributions last year in the Eredivisie, so maybe this kid amounts to something, maybe he doesn't. And they also got a defender in the mix, this guy called Coyote, who they got from Fiorentina in Italy. Now, this is the big one for them. Vuisa, one of their top goal scorers from last season, may also be on the way out, and if he leaves, this team is in trouble. They got a new manager, losing some of their best players. Again, plenty of time left in the transfer window, but I'm just judging things as they are right now. I'll take Brentford right here, and I have them behind Bournemouth. I have them surviving relegation, but they will be in the relegation mix, in my opinion. And I've seen a lot of predictions out there, and a lot of people have Brentford you know, somewhat towards the middle of the table. I don't see it with their team currently. Okay, how about Brighton, man? This is a team that I actually love. I'm not a fan. I like Brighton. I think they're going to do well this year. And obviously, this is the big one. They got rid of João Pedro. He is moving to Chelsea. Chelsea did pay a lot for him. They paid 63 million to be exact. But Brighton have a player coming in to replace him that I am so excited to watch play this year. They paid 35 million for this Greek wonder kid. He is 18 years old, and let's see if I can pronounce his name. Kostoulas. Yeah, that works. This dude has big shoes to fill, but I'm excited to watch him play, and I think he's going to do big things for Brighton. And then when you talk about the rest of Brighton's team, they still have Matoma leading the midfield. He is a beast. And let me tell you, this team put the João Pedro money to work. They got the Greek striker, and then they basically signed an entirely new back line. They got this man for free, a veteran center back from the French league, Bascagli. I'm a big fan of this man. They got this left back from the Belgian league, and another center back to pair with them, a guy called Diego Coppola. He is also from Italy. Brighton have been really strong the past few seasons, and I think they're going to be great again this time around. They also have some vets too. I can't believe Danny Welbeck is still playing, man. He's 34. And of course, they have one of the true GOATs. They got the boy James Milner, man, holding it down in the midfield. He's 39. Oh my gosh. How is he still playing at 39, man? Boys, I like the birds. I like the goals. We are putting them right here in the 6th to 7th place spot. Okay, up next is Burnley, newly promoted Burnley. All right, this is wild for them. In the championship last year, they only conceded 16 goals all season long. Obviously, they're in the Premier League now. Things are going to be quite different. Let's pull the transfers up. This is basically a new team. They signed over 10 new players to the squad. Of course, they brought in this man. They got the vet, Kyle Walker, joining them. Newly promoted team. Obviously, it's always great to have like a veteran presence. And of course, a Premier League winner in Kyle Walker is just going to make everyone around him better. I'm not going to show you all their signings, but they got Broja here from Chelsea. He's going to be playing up front for them. This next guy, however, is one of my favorite signings for them, and I think he's going to do really well. Marcus Edwards, obviously from England. They got him from Sporting, though. I like Burnley, man. Usually these teams, like a Burnley, you get to the Prem and it's tough to stay up. I actually think they're going to stay up, although it is going to be close for them. Burnley, I have in this lower mid-table. They will be battling against relegation, but I do think Burnley stay up. Okay, Chelsea next, right? I've already said it. I'm a Chelsea fan, so that's the disclaimer. I'm a little biased. Okay, look at Chelsea. Look at the total market value, 1.17 billion pounds. We know Chelsea have basically unlimited money, and they signed a ton of players again this window. Of course, João Pedro, he already made his debut in the Club World Cup, and he has already smashed it. He's going to be insane for Chelsea this year. They got another Brazilian in this guy called Estavo. I haven't seen much from him, but he seems like he could be incredible. He's only 18 though, so could take time for him to develop. And with so many players on Chelsea, he's probably not going to see the field a ton. They got a guy called Jamie Gittins from Dortmund. Honestly, even as a Chelsea fan, man, it is hard to keep up with all of their signings. I don't know too much about this guy. You just look at all the signings here. 60 million for Pedro. Gittins cost 56 million. They got a guy called Jorel Hato from Ajax. They paid 44 mil for him. Jorel Hato. Honestly, yeah, again, not heard of that man before in my life. Liam Delop is joining from Ipswich. He already made his debut as well in the Club World Cup. Obviously, Chelsea Club World Cup champions. I know there was a lot of controversy around that tournament. Like, how big of a tournament was that for Chelsea to win? Obviously, not as big as the Champions League, but I do think it is going to be a massive confidence booster for that team and their players, and I think Chelsea's going to have a big year in the Premier League. And of course, they're going to be relying on this man, Cole Palmer. I love this picture that transfermarket.com uses for him. But if Cole Palmer can just be the player that he is for the entire season, Chelsea genuinely have a shot to win the league. I know I'm a biased Chelsea fan, but I think most sane people would have them in this 2 to 5 range. I don't know if I'm going to put them ahead of Arsenal or not, but we'll find out at the end of the video. Okay, our next club is Crystal Palace. Here's the thing with Crystal Palace. A lot of people I've seen have predicted them inside the top 10. For me, I don't have that. I don't think Crystal Palace are going to have an incredible season. Obviously, they're coming off winning the FA Cup. There's the whole controversy. They should have been in the Europa League, but now they're going to be in Conference League. One way or another, though, they do have European football. And I think for a team like Crystal Palace, European football for them could hinder their performance in the Premier League. When you look at their top arrivals, top departures, They really didn't sign anyone big, and they really haven't sold anyone too massive. Rumors are their top and most expensive player as well as they could be leaving, and if he's out the door, this Palace team, they're going to need to sign someone quickly to replace him. I have Crystal Palace in one of these higher mid-table spots. They're going to be probably on the lower end of that as well. Probably 11th or 12th. Also, to show you how these rankings work in the table, Arsenal would be 2 right now. Chelsea would be 3. Villa would be 4. So the further you are up in the rankings, that's the slot you take. I would assume that's obvious, but I had to mention it. We're moving on to the team with the new stadium, Everton. What a disappointment this team has been as of late. I do think this year, though, they bounce back. And I really like their marquee signing, Tierno Barry. They got this man from Villarreal in Spain. They paid roughly 30 mil for him. He scored a decent amount of goals last year, and they're going to need him to score this year if Everton want to have a chance to, finish mid to top table. They're not finishing top table. What am I saying? But I would say mid-table would be realistic for Everton, and that would be a good year for them. They also have a tennis star on their team, apparently. They signed a guy called Carlos Alcaraz, who, if you don't know, is one of the best tennis players in the world, but this is his long-lost twin, I guess. And then their other marquee signing, they paid about 28 mil for Dewsbury Hall from Chelsea. This is one of my bolder predictions of the video. I have Everton higher to mid-table. I actually have them in 9th at the moment. Right now, they're in 8th. It's just because we haven't gotten through all the teams. Everton is one of my sneaky teams. Them and Brighton are 2 of my teams that I think are going to have better seasons than most people think they will. Okay, next up, Nottingham Forest. What a year Nottingham Forest had last season. The question is, will they be able to duplicate that or do even better? Now, here's the thing with Nottingham Forest. They let a ton of players go. Anthony Alonga is gone. Danilo is gone. They let Matt Turner, one of their backup goalkeepers, go. Quite a few players out the door. And all the players that they brought in are very young. They could be very exciting. This was their marquee signing of the window. They paid 42 million for this right winger. He is Swiss. They bought him from Bologna in the Serie A. He had around 12 goal contributions for them last year. He could be very good. And then I love this signing, man. They paid about 19 million for this guy called Igor Jesus. He played for Botafogo in Brazil. He actually scored 2 goals in the Club World Cup. And this is the big news for Nottingham Forest. This man is staying. Morgan Gibbs-White. There were rumors that he was going to leave. He is staying. I like Nottingham Forest, man. We are going to move them. I don't think they're going to be as good as they were last year, but I think they're going to be up there. We're going to keep them in this 7th spot now. They may drop. I don't think they're going to go higher than that, but I do like Forest. Okay, Fulham is next. Okay, shout out my boy Jared, big Fulham fan. Fulham, a rival of my club, Chelsea, but I have no ill will against Fulham. I know that probably makes me like a fake Chelsea fan, but I'm an American Chelsea fan. You got to understand that. I will say it's not good for Fulham when your highest valued player is American. Anthony Robinson, great player, I will say. And Fulham have made 1 transfer over this window. They brought in a 34-year-old goalkeeper for $500,000. They paid $500K for this dude. But that said, I have Fulham towards the bottom of the table. I have them in 14th. Let's move them right there, just behind Bournemouth. Sorry, Jared. Okay, newly promoted Leeds United is our next club. Now, this is a team, sadly, that I do think is gonna be relegated this year. Now, to be fair, they made a ton of moves to strengthen their team. They got veteran Sean Longstaff to strengthen the midfield. Anton Stash, this German CDM, was their most expensive signing of the window. They paid 20 million for him. Basically, all their signings were to help improve their defense so that they're not conceding, which probably smart. They paid 18 million for this Slovenian center back from the Serie A. They paid 16 million for this Brazilian keeper from Ligue 1. And then a signing I really like, the Swiss left back. He's 26. They got him, I believe, from Lille. Gudmundsson, they have said that right. This is who Leeds is relying on, man. Joel Peroe. He was one of their top goal scorers last year. I just don't know, man. If this is the guy, yeah, sadly, if this is who they're using to rely on their goals for, I don't think it's going to be a great year for Leeds. I don't know much about this guy. Maybe he's a beast. Maybe he proves me wrong, but I don't see it. I do have Leeds at 18th. I think there's a chance they could survive, though. You could easily swap them out for Burnley. Yeah, I think the bottom 5 teams, really anyone could get relegated there. Okay, Liverpool's next. They won the Premier League last season. Will they do it again? And I do have to say, man, this Liverpool team is scary. Let's talk about who's already on it. They got McAllister. They got Soboslai. They got Salah. They got VVD. And then the new signings, I mean, Liverpool balled out this transfer window. This is the big one. 125 million for Florian Wirtz. That is It's a lot of money. They paid 95 million for this Frenchman as well. 95 million, and he's only the second most expensive player you've bought this window. That is mad. And then they bought Versus teammate Frimpong is also joining Liverpool. There is no question that Liverpool are going to be up here in this UCL spot. Will they be champions again? They very easily could be. Stick around to the end of the video, though, where I will make my decision. We're almost there. We have 7 teams left, and Man City is next. And obviously, this was the big news of the summer for City. Kevin De Bruyne no longer with the club. He has moved to Napoli. But Man City, of course, with all of their money, they've replaced him very quickly. This is a man they're going to count on this year. The AC Milan midfielder out of the Netherlands. He's a world-class midfielder. They paid about 55 mil for him. He is going to start, and they're going to need him to step up. They also got Cherky as well for 36 mil. He was one of their marquee signings. Obviously, the big news for them is Rodri is going to be healthy. He's going to be ready to go. If he's around for the full season, stays healthy, Man City they'll be right up there at the top. This is my big prediction for City this year, though. I think Haaland gets over 30 goals. I think he comes this season, comes back. He only had 22 last year. Crazy. That was an off year for him. Man City is going to be joining the top 5. Let's just put them there for now. This is all going to change. They're all going to move around. Someone's going to move up to be the champion, but we have our top 5 teams for sure. All right, who's ready to talk about United, man? Oh, Manchester United. Is it going to be another year of misery for them? Most likely it will be. Now, honestly, I think United is going to do better than last season, although that's not saying much. Them doing worse is basically them getting relegated. This was their marquee signing. They got this man for a hefty fee, 75 mil. It's just is he gonna be the man that saves United? I just don't see it. Now, they also got Cunha in as well, so I mean, they are bolstering that attack. And then the rumors are still out there that they might be landing Sesko from RB Leipzig. So if that happens, United is gonna have plenty of goal scorers. United losing a lot of vets this year, man. Marcus Rashford loaned and transferred to Barca. Lindelof gone. Eriksen gone. Johnny Evans gone. He's retired. It is truly year after year becoming a brand new era for Manchester United, and so far it's going in a wrong direction. I'm actually predicting United to do decent this year. I mean, compared to last season. I have them in 8th. I think 8th is fair for them, and I think that's probably higher than people would expect. But yeah, it would be hilarious if they got relegated. I would be very happy if that prediction is wrong and they do get relegated. Okay, Newcastle is up next. Also, I've just realized, man, I'm probably offending so many teams in this video. You know what? You guys, it's a YouTube video. If you guys are offended by me, it's just maybe if you go watch someone else. What do I know? I'm just an American in my living room giving predictions. How's my ball knowledge so far? Is it all right? I don't know. Okay, Newcastle, I believe they're in the Champions League this year. They finished 5th in the Premier League last season. This is the big one for Newcastle. Alexander Isak. Will he stay? Will he go? I know there's been a ton of drama. I haven't read too much into it. He's at the club now, but he might be gone. Also, just seeing this article right now that Sesko has agreed to join United. We're getting live transfer news as I'm recording this. Okay, I'm looking back where I put United. I still think that's fair. Honestly, with that attack, I could see them in 6th or 7th, but I still think 8th is fair for United. Okay, back to Newcastle. Yeah, this was their big signing for Newcastle. They brought in Antalya Longa. I feel like they've had a rough window, and they're definitely not going to be finishing above 5th. I'm taking Newcastle right now. I'm putting them in 9th. I'm moving Everton back to 10th. I think that's fair. A lot could change in the window that might move them up in the table, but I think 9th for how things have been going for them right now is very fair. Also, again, Brighton is so high. The more I look at this, Brighton, I believe in them, though. I believe in the goals. Okay, Spurs is next. As we all know, horrific season for them last year, finishing just outside of relegation in 17th, but they did win the Europa League, and they no longer have this man, Heung-min Son. What happened to this Spurs team, man? No Kane, no Son. Spurs are in trouble. They did make some decent signings, though. 63 mil for Kudus from West Ham. It's a lot of money, but he's a good player. They signed Tell from Bayern Munich. I actually think this is a good pickup, and he is going to be a really good player for them. And then they loaned Joao Polina from Bayern Munich. I think that's a solid addition as well. I got Spurs still pretty low We're moving them behind Everton, which might be a bit disrespectful, but they finished 17th last year and they lost Son. I think that's generous for them, to be honest. All right, these last 3 teams, yeah, we've saved some of the worst for last. All right, Sunderland, newly promoted. I'm excited to see them back. I think this would be a very fun team to use in career mode this year as like, they're back in the Prem, maybe try to rebuild them and win the Prem with them. But yeah, they're not winning it in real life, man. This is a team that's probably going to get relegated again, sadly. Now, they signed this man, Xhaka, newly promoted team. You need a veteran player who's been there before. He's going to try to help them stay up. This is the man to save them, Granit Xhaka. And then other than that, you can see they got a bunch of really young signings in as well. So I'm excited to see how they perform, but I really just don't see it for Sunderland. They also just got rid of Joe Bellingham, Jude's brother. I have Sunderland in 20th, sadly. Okay, West Ham and Wolves are our final 2. Okay, what to say about this West Ham team? I don't have a whole lot. Their top signing, they paid 40 million for Todibo, a very solid French center back. He will do well for them. Obviously, they got rid of Kudus, transferred him away. Just like a look at this team, Jared Bowen, Paqueta Alvarez, Wan-Bissaka in there, good, but there's not a whole lot to get excited about with West Ham. We are throwing West Ham just in front of Burnley. I have them in 16th. Wolves is our final team in here. Before I even talk about them, we know where they're going. They are going in relegation zone. They lost a lot of big players in the transfer window. Obviously, Cunha is the big one. They did make some, decent signings. This Larson man, the Norwegian, could be decent. Leeds, Wolves, and Sunderland, though, are my 3 relegated teams. Okay, now, boys, it comes down to this. We've reviewed every single team, but there can only be one winner of the Premier League. It'll either be Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, City. Villa's going to stay at 5th. I don't think Villa will win. And you know what, boys? I've been hiding it in plain sight this entire time as to who will win. This order right here will not change. And as a Chelsea fan, I hate to say it, but this is my prediction. Arsenal will win the Premier League this year. And I'm not just saying that because I have a history of jinxing teams winning it all. Well, that might be part of why I picked Arsenal, but I genuinely think if Gyökeres is the man for Arsenal and he does as well as he did at Sporting, I think it's going to be between Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea. I have Liverpool in 2nd. I have Chelsea in 3rd, City in 4th, Villa in 5th. Those are my Premier League predictions. Boys, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. We have a ton more IRL footy content coming to the weekly Dab of Football channel. It's right here, and a ton more content is coming back this year, so make sure you guys are subscribed. Leave your predictions down below. I want to read all of them. I'm going to be responding to a bunch of them as well. Cheers for watching, and we'll see you for the next one.